reason why. We're the reason why. NSC Wrestling. We own this town. Until the final bell, we'll hold our ground. Hold ground.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome to the NSC Wrestling Gaming Podcast. I am your host, the Director of Chaos, Nicholas Canford, along with Big C, a.k.a. 2-inch Pythons.
What's up, everybody? Big C here, aka Chris Canfield, joining the Director of Chaos for a quick shout out here.
And, we're live too, by the way. We're live on Facebook and YouTube right now.
There it is, baby.
So, real quick, Asuka, is she done or not?
I think she's done for the foreseeable future, but like all wrestlers, there's always that itch. I think that she needs time for herself because she's been on TV in a very extended period of time. I think the fact that she has, lost her, as we like to say, peanut butter to her jelly, Kairi Sane, and then, doing the event with Io Sky, I think it's probably taken the toll on her. So I think at this particular moment in time, she needs to get her head back in check, her mental health in good status, and then I believe we will see her again.
Do you feel like it's a shock that she left the way she did, considering how Brock left at Mania? Nobody knew anything about it.
No. I think with the current state of affairs at TKO WWE, I wouldn't be shocked to see anything happen at this point in time.
Do we see more stars leave because of the pay cuts?
I think there's a lot of factors in there. Pay cuts being one thing, but also creative. I mean, if you look at it, what's going on with LA Knight? What's going on with the Alpha Academy now that they've seemingly lost Maxine Dupree to the Vision? There's various other superstars who seem to be like in limbo. Carmelo Hayes, Ray Phoenix, and the fact that they have an influx of NXT talent that has been brought up to the main roster. I just don't think there's enough burners for all the fires, and you're going to start seeing superstars who have already been cemented in the main roster being lost to creative, and then because they're not on the shows no more, it's almost like, hey, listen, if I'm not being used, let me go. So I wouldn't be surprised to see like another run of superstars ask and get granted their release from the TKO WWE.
No, I can definitely see in the foreseeable future guys like Tozawa, Otis. There's quite a few people that, I hate to say it, but Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yep.
There's quite a handful of the mid-carders really that are lost in the shuffle, and especially the new people, the new talent that's up in the main roster now. Ethan Page, Sol Ruka,
Ricky Saints,
Toxic Attraction.
Yeah.
So I hate to say it, but like I feel like we're gonna see within the next month or two another dozen to 15 people just get released and not even gonna bat an eye about it.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening before SummerSlam. Um, and maybe even some stars who have been on TV get released, like Bailey, Ilya Dragunov.
I mean, to see Bailey leave, I feel like she'd have a much better career. Like she's had a Hall of Fame career already, but used better in the likes of AEW, simply for the fact that there could be a lot more interesting feuds happening.
Well, I mean, you also got to think about it too. Like one of her good friends, Mercedes Monet, is over there, and
Yeah,
then you know, um, you also have the Inspiration that's in there. There's a lot of people from the WWE that went to the AEW, um, and the fact that AEW is more of a wrestling promotion than sports entertainment. I could definitely see that happening. But hell, even with AEW, you only have so many spots on the card to fill up. I mean, look at Mercedes Monet. She was the AEW women's division for the longest time. She lost her titles at the beginning of the year, and there's nothing for her. Uh, you know, Tony Storm is still getting booked decently. And the ROH, a lot of those females, they've been running rampant over there. Um, I mean, Christ, Athena's almost ready to break Roman Reigns' record for holding the title. Uh, Red Velvet, Diana Peraza. I mean, I could definitely see Bailey going to AEW, and I could see her flourishing over there. But how much of a career does she have left too? Like she's getting up there. Um, People who I'm surprised and I love, like I love Natalia, but what has she really been doing? I think maybe she's a grandfather didn't clause, but like she really hasn't been on it. She's been on NXT. She had that little mini feud with Maxine Dupree, but she hasn't been in any kind of title run picture in Christ 7-8 years. So
she hasn't had a main storyline or feud in at least 6 years.
in quite some time, yeah. Uh, but I don't think she'll ever leave. I think, like I said, I think she's a grandfathered person in due to the relationship with the Hart family.
Well,
But
and
you
and
never
her
know.
and her husband and her husband. I mean, he works as a producer or a trainer or something like that.
Yeah, he's a producer over there. But I mean, even then, I guess that doesn't even make a difference anymore now that it's TKO WWE rather than the McMahon led WWE.
Where do you see Roman? Like, cause like last week when we did the episode talking about how I had to counteract what I said. Now we're seeing Roman in June. We don't see him for Night of Champions still. Um, Backlash. Eh, we won. I mean, he got choked out at the end by Jacob, and come Raw, Jacob was quote unquote fired.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean,
it's
I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a decision that has to be made. You're not going to get paid top dollar anymore and have a limited run schedule. I think if you're going to get paid top dollar, you're going to be expected to be at every show.
they're gonna be Cena.
Well, I mean, Cena wasn't at every show and he was getting paid top dollar. I think you're going to be more like a CM Punk.
Well, I'm talking Cena in the mid 2000s.
Oh yeah. I could see that. I mean, you're not going to get paid in the high sevens and run 30 dates. That's not going to happen. And I think that when push comes to shove, Roman knows what he's worth. he is, one of the faces of the TKO WWE. So I feel that if they give him that kind of ultimatum, knowing that he's already stated in the past that his family is more important than anything else, and the fact that he's got a movie career that's going on now, I think he could tell them, take care, brush your hair, sorry about your damn luck, and he could go to any promotion there is. I mean, you think about it, to see the name Roman Reigns.
Do you think though that TKO would let that happen? I mean, you already lost Brock, who another needle mover, big draw, big attraction, but then you lose Roman on top of that. Like where's the fine line at?
Well, the fine line's this right here. TKO doesn't care about the superstars. It cares about the bottom dollar. They're a publicly traded company. Being said that, they have to hit certain criteria on the stock markets for their board. And I don't know how often you look at the stocks, but TKO has been tanking. I think a lot has to do with the UFC because they own the UFC also. And UFC hasn't been what it's been in the past 10 years. But it doesn't make a difference because it's all under one umbrella.
For the next couple weeks, like, how do you feel about SummerSlam? Like, how do you feel about SummerSlam Night of Champions? Like, I fear that a lot of storylines and the build-ups for matches that are coming up for these next couple PLEs, they're not going to be as immersed with the people like in the past. It's going to be like Backlash just thrown in, because if you really paid attention to Io and Asuka's storyline after Kari got released mid-storyline, it was just thrown together. It was a mess.
But I'm not going to say nothing about Backlash. I think Backlash overall was a solid B+ pay-per-view. It was definitely 1,000 times better than WrestleMania Night 1. It's hard to live up to Night 2 in WrestleMania because that was a fantastic show. I don't think that we're going to have to worry too much about the storylines. They do have a pretty good creative team for their main people. Now I think we're going to have a recurring event happening here where we're going to see, so-and-so and so-and-so again. But if you think about it, right, on the Backlash pay-per-view, which I said was a good solid B+, they did not have Cody Rhodes. They did not have CM Punk. They did not have Becky Lynch. 3 main stars right there. And it was still a very good quality show. So I'm not really too concerned about how they're going to work that out. Because if they had a B+ without those main players, imagine what's going to happen if they do have those main players there. But on the flip side, what if people do decide to request their release and it does get granted?
Normally, I would say revert to Plan B, but I don't even think TKO has Plan A through M. Like,
I think a saving grace is the fact that Ethan Page is up there now, and he's not going to be making those 7 figures that Roman's making or Punk. Fatal Influence, JC Jane for years I said should have been on the main roster when it wasn't TKO WWE. And the amount of heat that she's getting and her faction it's nuclear. This is like Dirty Dom when he was Prison Dom heat. Ricky Saints. I like Ricky Saints. I don't think he's got it. Oba Femi's definitely got it. Jordan Grace hasn't been used at all, and I think that's a waste of talent because she is absolutely amazing. Um, Sol Ruka, I think it was a too early of a call up for Sol Ruka, my personal opinion. Sol Ruka is talented. She does stuff that I was amazed by. Seeing that Soul Snatcher is probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest, finishing moves I have seen in the past decade. But she still botches. And nobody's gonna be perfect at all. And she's, like I said, she's definitely gonna be the star of the next, 10, 15 years. But I think she still needed a little more time down at NXT to hone those skills. JC Jane was ready, I believe, 2.5 years ago. She wanted to stay in NXT to hone those skills, and you see what's happening now. I mean, she's like freaking lava when she comes out there with the amount of heat that she's throwing off. Um, and then you have lightning in the bottle, Obafemi. Like, he is lightning in the bottle, and the fact that they're putting him in open challenges, to me, is a travesty. Because he's got it. I mean, you look at the way it's working. Danhausen. Now, Danhausen's a nice comedy act, and I think that, this has been his gimmick forever and a day. My wife, who absolutely hates wrestling with a passion, loves Danhausen. Absolutely loves him. So he's got something working for him. Top merch mover already. He's got more merch out there than some other people have who've been with the company for a much longer time. Hey, keep him on there, keep him doing what he's doing, and see the way it rolls. So they do have people they can put in place if something does happen, but I don't know if it's the star power that's going to drive ticket sales to say, hey, listen, I got to spend this $2,000 for this ticket.
With Oba, you made Oba out to be the guy that beat the beast, that laid down the last rendering, aside from Randy Orton, of OVW, that amazing 2002 class. And with the open challenges, it is what it is. They got this new. What do you think of the new title that Cena brought and attention at Backlash, where the fans vote? I have this. I have this very gut wrenching feeling that Oba is going to be that champion.
Well, it's fan votes. For all we know, Matt Cardona could be.
Shut the fuck up.
And hold that belt.
Shut the fuck up.
All right. It's. I'm gonna be completely transparent here. Okay. When Cyber Sunday came out in 2006, 2007,
yeah,
that was a fan vote too. It wasn't a fan vote. They already knew. They could doctor those numbers up just as quick as anybody else.
Yeah.
All they gotta do is put it on the screen. So I think they already know who they want to go through. It doesn't make a difference if you win or lose. The fan vote, that could be swayed.
Now, where would you like to see Oba? For me personally, I would like to see, if Jacob Fatu beat Roman, I'd like to see Oba against the Samoan Werewolf for that feud.
I think it's too early, personally. He is lightning in the bottle, and you want to capitalize on it. But if you capitalize on it too early, then what's left?
Look at Brock, though. When Brock first started.
True, he was the youngest champion there was. But how long did he last in WWE? 2 years before he left?
I mean, that was on his own accord.
That was on his own accord. So I'm saying, once you beat everybody, then what's left for you? You have to find something else to do. UFC, NFL.
I don't know. There's a lot of things that I would like to see them do with Oba. And I just, I wish they knew what they were doing. And I'm not talking about the writers. I'm talking about TKO as a whole. I wish they knew what they were doing. Because, like, these last couple months, it seems like to be draining. Ticket prices, storylines, releases, and then, like, thrown out in the public that they need to do budget cuts,
Yeah.
even though ESPN, Netflix, the whole 9 yards. And public, it was public that they got a 310% raise, but you got to make budget cuts for. It's just I feel drained. I feel every time I read something about TKO or WWE, I feel drained. I'm like, what's next? What are they gonna do next?
It's all about the bottom line. Like I said, shareholders.
How does TKO flip, and how do they become successful overall?
Well, they're very successful money wise.
Storylines, matches, build-ups.
Give Triple H full control.
Thank you. That's what you know. Well, we said we were gonna make this short, so
We'll be back on again.
yeah. Right now, just a little rendering of some emotions getting let out.
Yes.
All right, guys.